Hi everybody and welcome back to Threads and Thoughts. Today I have the amazing Mia Leroux.
Oh, thank you so much for welcoming me here. I'm so excited for our little chat today.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming through.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So, Crowned with Greatness feels so on theme for you. And when you first won Miss South Africa, did you feel crowned immediately or did it take time to grow into the title?
That is actually a good question. I think I am aware, and I was aware that night that I was crowned as Miss South Africa, but I think people often have this idea of what a Miss South Africa is and what it means to, if you wear that crown, it means you are this perfect person. I will never be a perfect person. I will always be a human being, and trying to be authentic to myself while wearing this crown and having those expectations of being this perfect person has been something I had to navigate, but I do feel like I am a South Africa, but I am a South Africa in my way.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what was one defining moment during your reign that reminded you why you were chosen to wear the crown?
I think there have been quite a few defining moments that reminded me why I was crowned, and the whole reason I entered is because I wanted to be an agent of change. I wanted to be a voice for those who feel excluded and help them also feel hope that they also can be seen and heard and live the life that they would like to live instead of just having to be okay and just having to survive. And moments like when we did the cochlear implant surgeries on the recipients we chose, and we were at the activation of one of the ladies, her name Michelle, and she got her cochlear implant activated, and I could see on that day how much it meant to her, and she truly understood what it would mean for her life going forward. And just being a part of moments like that is full of hope and joy and celebration in our differences are the days that really reminds me why I was crowned.
For many young women preparing for Miss South Africa, what overlooked quality do you believe is just as important as confidence and beauty?
I think, well, it's not really an overlooked quality, authenticity, just being who you are and coming in completely as yourself, with all of your shortcomings, with all of your strengths, everything that makes you you. But something I think that can get overlooked is work ethic. You need to have a strong work ethic if you become Miss South Africa. You are not just there just for the glam and the fun and the dress up. You're also there to work and to earn your title and to work for your country, because it's a year that you have to put your country before yourself. And that is something you need to remember.
Yeah, that's very important, and I'm sure our viewers would appreciate that. I mean, authenticity is key.
Definitely.
It's very, very important to stay true to who you are.
Yes, definitely.
So how did you navigate, public opinions of, from the negative side and stay true to your authentic self while carrying the crown?
I think it's something that you almost understand from the start. I don't think you almost always understand to the level it can go to, that negativity and public scrutiny, but at the end of the day, I guess something that people also will remind me of often, because sometimes you forget it yourself even though you know, but it's just, you really have to give your best, work your heart on everything that you do, and at the end of the day, when your head hits the pillow, you have to know that you gave it your all. You really tried to be a good person, you tried to do everything in a way that is respectful, that is right. And yeah, I think it's just something that you learn to just remember who you are. You need to know yourself and those around you, the close ones, they all know who you are. So I think it's just not attaching your worth to what the public thinks. And when you become a South Africa, it's sometimes difficult to navigate that, because when your country loves you, they love you hard. And you want to take that in because it makes you feel special, and they can really love you in a way that is very special. But you also need to remember that is also just the public opinion. So you also need to remember, don't let your ego get too big when your country loves you, but also don't let them tell you that, or listen to when they have negative things to say about you. At the end of the day, you just have to realize and remember who you are. I'm not like better than anyone else, but I'm also not the worst person. I'm just here trying my best.
That's amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. I mean, it goes hand in hand with mental health, right, as well?
Yes,
because the
definitely.
negativity can impact your mental health. And
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's just you have to regulate yourself. You always just have to come back to yourself, regulate yourself through the moments that are difficult, embrace the moments that are joyful, but just remember who you are, remember what matters to you, and work towards that.
I love that. Okay. At the recent Estate Forward, audiences shared so much positive feedback about your presence there. How did it feel to receive such warmth and admiration from the crowd?
I think it's always lovely when you feel a sense of acceptance in the air, and I think anyone who experiences that would be grateful for it. So I was feeling grateful towards their kindness, their acceptance in their life.
And how was it? How was everything? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I did enjoy myself. I did.
Yeah. And in a world where pageantry is evolving, how do you think Miss South Africa continues to remain relevant for modern women?
And that's also a good question to ask. I think pageantry really has evolved, and in my eyes, Miss South Africa is not just a pageant anymore. It's also become a female empowerment platform. And we have witnessed through previous Miss South Africas how it has evolved. And I really saw how Miss South Africa was becoming an agent for change. They were using their platform and their voice to speak out on social ills and injustices in the country, and just shining a light on those blind spots in our country, and just playing the part they can possibly play to help bring the country forward. So I really think it's really involved in that way, and it's something we need. We need female leaders who can use their voice to speak up for those who do not have the opportunity to speak up for themselves.
Yeah. And I think you've done an amazing job with that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem. And I know with your journey, Miss South Africa, obviously, with each year, at a certain point, you will have to embark on different things again.
Yes.
But I wanted to know, what part of your Miss South Africa journey do you find yourself missing the most? I mean, you know, as it's coming to close to the end, and what are you enjoying in this new chapter of your life?
I think the part that I will miss most about being Miss South Africa truly is the team that you work with. Really, you form such a close personal relationship with each and every one of them, and of course I will still continue to have a relationship with them, but just not maybe on that everyday level anymore. Because the other things that I enjoy, I can continue to take with me after the rain, like continuing to do my projects where I try to help better lives and all of that. So I really think I would just really miss working with the team.
Yeah, because I mean, I know it's a title as well, and when you have to hand it over, but I think it always stays with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think the other things people think you might miss, you do take with you anyway, regardless afterwards. Because I will forever be Miss South Africa 2024.
Yeah, forever and ever.
Yeah.
If you could sum up what the crown taught you in one life lesson, what would it be?
Sure. I have to think about that one a bit. I did speak previously to it a bit, but I think because you asked about the public scrutiny, and I think what you really learned through being Miss South Africa, because of course in my life I had to be in other challenging situations, but in the most I've been challenged being Miss South Africa is doing what I want to do versus public scrutiny, because other things I've always done and worked hard towards, but just remembering who you are, you really have to have that sense of self. Like, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never harm me. And it's just, you also feel a lot of pressure when you know you're constantly being watched. But what is the next step to do? You almost almost can get to a point where you want to sacrifice your authenticity, but not really. But it's just because of that pressure of I'm always being watched. So you have to remember yourself, I'm just here to be me. I should not feel this weight on me. I just need to feel free to be myself. And I think it just really has learned me the kind of strength it takes to remain who you are. The kind of strength it takes to remain true to yourself.
I love that. And what would you say to a contestant who doubts she belongs on the Miss South Africa stage because of her background or her insecurities?
I think if you do not believe in yourself, you are not giving others the permission to believe in you too. You have to believe in yourself. Like, for example, I was the first deaf contestant on Miss South Africa, and if I did not believe that I can do it, in spite of no one else ever having done it, or other people's opinion, but you might not do well, they might not be able to cater to you and your needs. You just need to believe it can be done, and when you are strong in that belief, the ones around you start believing with you too. So no matter where you come from, no matter your background, as long as you believe you are worthy of that moment and that title, then go for it. Everyone else is going to believe with you too.
I love that. So just keep on going on,
yes,
keep believing,
exactly.
and never give up, right? Never give up.
Exactly.
So, many people see the glamour, but few see the work behind the crown. And you said, work ethic is very important. What daily habits or routines kept you grounded and prepared throughout your reign?
I have to say, I do not always have a lot of time for lots of little daily routines, but one thing that always remains the same is I have my cup of coffee in the morning. I have that 10 minutes. My dog is right here in my arm cuddling with me. Just having that little moment of peace and setting your mind up for the day. And then every night I also just have a little moment for myself with my cup of tea. Maybe if I have time I would read a book. But I think it's just finding those little moments and reminding yourself to breathe. And to think, okay, I have to achieve this tomorrow. This is what I've achieved so far. And just checking in with yourself. Checking in with yourself, where you are at emotionally, where are you at physically, how are you doing? Are you taking good enough care of yourself? Are you doing what you said you would do? Are you honoring your word? So I think it's just checking in with yourself and regulating yourself in that aspect.
Yeah, I love it, because it's really important to regulate your nervous system as well, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because a lot of people go through...
I'm going to be honest, I definitely still do experience stress. I still experience moments of nervousness, and it's not something that ever will fully go away, but you learn to manage it, you learn to push through in spite of it.
Yeah, so you gotta keep going.
Yes, exactly.
So, how has being crowned with greatness shaped the way you view your purpose moving forward?
I think being crowned with greatness has really just solidified what I set out to do when I entered, and that is to help promote change, to help spread awareness about the deaf community, and just awareness about being compassionate, being kind, being accepting of others who are different, who has a different story than you, who might walk in different shoes than yours, but at the end of the day, all we want is acceptance of others. And just continuing to do that work, it just really solidified, because I actually saw during this year actual proof that it can actually be done, it can actually happen with the things we already have achieved this year. So it is possible. It's not just a dream anymore, it can be done. And I think I will definitely take that.
And with Mia's words, stay true to who you are, continue to work hard, and never forget to stay authentic. Thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it, and we had a lovely time getting to know you better.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, AFI, for this opportunity to tell my story. I really enjoy chatting with you.
Thank you so much.